So when you're in the advisory curriculum folder, to get to the senior project materials, you'll want to go to 12th grade. In the teacher resources folder, there's a senior project folder. This senior project folder contains all of the items that you need to guide people through the senior project. One thing to note is that we have a traditional version, and we also will now have a Xello version for schools that have Xello. Schools can still ultimately decide which version they would like to use. Xello is just another way to keep track of everything. The traditional method is usually making a Google site. In Xello, the Xello method is to house things in a storyboard. So let's look at the traditional rubric. So the senior project is composed of essentially three different things. The first thing is a digital portfolio. So this is traditionally a Google site that students build or should be building throughout each of their advisory grades. And then when they get to senior year, they update that. Now, this format for the senior project has not made a full cycle. So students coming into their senior year generally won't have much started for this because we haven't had this project running for 4 years yet. So you may be starting from scratch with students building a Google site, and that's fine. So these are the different areas that students should have on their site. Personal and social development. They should have a description and then artifacts. These things also can be housed on the Xello storyboard. Academic growth is just how they've grown academically, and then different assignments or artifacts that showcase that. Career development includes the resume, the cover letter, and another artifact that shows work they've done to develop their career skills, and then reflecting on what they want to do. Post-secondary plans is where they're thinking of after high school. So they're outlining and reflecting on their process through high school throughout the years and how it's prepared them for their post-secondary life. So this is a checklist to grade that digital portfolio, which traditionally, like I said, is housed on a Google site. Students also have to complete a job shadow. So for whatever career they're interested in, they set this up first semester. And so they need to have the shadow completed first semester in January, and then in February, they'll start the reflection paper. So setting up their job shadow is where you can help them, and they should have that completed by January, which is all outlined in the course guide for 12th grade. Then in February, they'll reflect on that process, and they'll write a 5-paragraph essay as their job shadow reflection. At the very end of the year, seniors will give a presentation that basically showcases their digital portfolio and their job shadow, and this is the rubric you would use to grade that with all of the different categories. And then this is everything at the end, the 3 different sections and what it should be totaled out of. These are generally the rubrics you should use, but just make sure you're grading consistently with other teachers in your building. There needs to be a Xello version of this created because Xello doesn't have a Google site. You're going to house things in your Xello storyboard instead. So this is still in draft mode, and that's something that would need to be finished. As far as the job shadow forms, they're all located here. So everything that's referred to on the rubric is all in this folder to help students get the correct job shadow, make sure it's approved, in a parent permission packet that's also parents obviously also know what's going on. So those are the 3 zones of the senior project, and everything you need and examples of things you may need are all located, like I said, in the senior project